Right now, somewhere in the world, there is a US citizen who has no idea that one decision could put their American passport at risk. They believe citizenship is permanent, guaranteed for life, something that can never be questioned. But under US law, there are specific legal situations where a person can lose American citizenship, even after holding it for decades. This is not speculation. These rules exist in federal law as of 2026. And while most people will never encounter them, the individuals who do often discover the consequences only after a serious mistake has already been made. Hi, I am Sasha, and in this video, we're breaking down 7 real and legal reasons someone can lose US citizenship. Some are straightforward, others are surprising, and a few may apply to people living abroad, holding dual nationality, working overseas, or even preparing to naturalize in the future. If you are already a US citizen, this information can help you avoid a life-changing error. If you are a green card holder working towards citizenship, understanding how to protect that status is just as important as earning it. Before we get into the 7 reasons, there is something critical you need to understand. Not all citizenship loss happens the same way. Under US law, there are 2 main legal paths. The first is denaturalization. This applies only to individuals who became citizens through naturalization. If the government proves in court that citizenship was obtained through fraud, misrepresentation, or concealment of key facts, a judge can revoke it. That process is rare and requires strong evidence. The second path is expatriation, also called loss of nationality. This usually involves voluntary actions taken by the citizen. The legal foundation comes from the Immigration and Nationality Act, specifically Section 349. It lists certain acts that can potentially lead to loss of citizenship. But here is the most important principle running through everything: intent. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that citizenship cannot simply be taken away automatically. The government must prove that a person intended to give up their U.S. nationality. Without intent, citizenship is strongly protected. Now let's walk through the 7 legal reasons. First, voluntarily becoming a citizen of another country as an adult can raise concerns. Dual citizenship itself is legal and common. Millions of Americans hold more than one passport. The issue arises only if someone clearly demonstrates that they intended to abandon their U.S. citizenship during that process. Second, taking an oath of allegiance to a foreign country can create risk if that oath reflects a clear rejection of allegiance to the United States. Not every oath causes a problem. Context and intent matter. Third, serving in the armed forces of a foreign country may become an issue, especially if that country is hostile to the United States. Service in allied nations is often treated differently. Again, the determining factor is whether the individual intended to relinquish U.S. nationality. Fourth, accepting certain high-level or policy-making positions in a foreign government can raise questions about allegiance. Routine employment abroad is usually not a problem, but senior governmental roles may attract legal scrutiny if they suggest a shift in loyalty. Fifth, formal renunciation is the most direct path. A U.S. citizen can voluntarily renounce citizenship at a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad. This requires signing official documents and taking an oath of renunciation. It is typically permanent and carries serious legal and financial consequences. Sixth, there is a rarely used provision allowing renunciation inside the United States during a time of war under specific legal procedures. This is extremely uncommon, but remains part of federal law. Seventh, committing acts such as treason, attempting to overthrow the U.S. government by force, or bearing arms against the United States represents the most severe category. These acts fundamentally conflict with the concept of allegiance and can lead to loss of citizenship. When you step back and look at all 7 reasons together, one theme stands out clearly. Citizenship is not lost by accident. The government must prove voluntary intent. That protection exists because citizenship is considered a constitutional right, not a privilege that can be casually revoked. For green card holders and future citizens, this discussion carries important meaning. Becoming American is not just about passing a test. It is about entering into a legal relationship defined by allegiance and responsibility. Understanding how citizenship can be lost helps you appreciate how strongly it is protected. In practical terms, protecting your citizenship comes down to common sense and awareness. If you are considering foreign government employment, foreign military service, dual citizenship, or any formal oath abroad, consult a qualified immigration attorney first. Maintain clear ties to the United States. Keep your passport valid. Continue filing U.S. taxes if required. Be mindful of any document that asks you to renounce allegiance. Most Americans will never come close to these situations. U.S. citizenship remains one of the most secure legal statuses in the world. The laws we discussed exist to address rare and extreme circumstances, not to trap ordinary people living global lives. The purpose of this video is not to create fear. It is to replace uncertainty with clarity. When you understand the boundaries, you can live confidently within them. Citizenship is more than a passport. It is a legal bond built on rights, protections, and responsibilities. As long as you act thoughtfully and remain informed, your status is secure. If you care about staying updated on U.S. immigration laws, federal policy changes, IRS updates, and legal developments that directly affect your future, make sure you stay connected. This is Uncut Updates.